What is up, YouTube Steam blockchain? So today I want to talk a little bit about, will video evidence work as proof in the future, especially as AI videos grow. So I recently been checking out how fast it goes with AI videos, and you basically have this new software, this new technology. I think it's been out for almost 1.5 years or so right now, where it's like, and you see it also with a lot of other Android apps, a lot of stuff that people are starting to tweak. Okay, we can almost say it started with makeup. Okay, like people started to tweak how they look and all of that, and then they started to do body modifications. And then you get these kind of, in this digital realm, you sort of get these new software where people sort of can, and they can sort of replace faces. They can sort of take a video, a movie, and then they can sort of put in another face there. And if you really look at the latest in this tech now, how fast it's going, I mean, it's almost already right now impossible to tell if it is, let's say, a tampered video or if it's a real video. And this gets into this very wonky space of, will video evidence in the future be valid to try to prove something? I mean, it gets into this very, very wonky space. And I mean, in many ways, you can already say that it was already wonky, because you can already do that, or you can already sort of manipulate things in other ways. But it's really going to be taken to the next level, it seems, with AI videos, where you basically can simulate virtual reality. And this is something I also talked about in the past, that smartphones now are more and more virtual reality. Like, it's a screen, it's stuff that's happening on the screen, but it has no existential relevance. It's just virtual reality. And probably in the future, people are really going to look at it more, the internet, more like that it's just a virtual reality experience. And as long as it has no existential relevance, it's like, okay. So AI videos are going to grow, and when anyone can make any sort of video, I mean, you can create anything, right? And you can see how this can be used in many ways. There will probably be misuse, and there probably will be good use, but it's probably going to change the way people sort of think about technology, think about things. So you wonder, like, okay, is anyone ever going to be able to regulate that sort of thing? And it doesn't really seem like it. It doesn't really seem like it, because it's your software, it's digital, and when someone releases a piece of code, it just can live on forever, right? That's the same thing with you with sort of crypto. Someone thinks that you'll be able to regulate it, but you probably won't. Maybe some parts. But what is happening with technology is, let's say you regulate something, or let's say you sort of stop something, right? 2 days later, someone is going to find a way to circumvent that, right? Because that's just how technology is going. It's becoming more intelligent. So there are many ways to sort of look at these things. One theory that people have, oh, yeah, you probably will have tons of misuse. But then you have the other side of, like, if you look at society just in general, like why many people may do certain things. May it not have to do something with, like, economy and things like that, and that there is something there that, well, if you give people their needs, maybe they look at life different. Maybe a lot of the crazy stuff that you see in the world, it probably is because a lack of funds, like a lack of resources, a lack of basic resources, basically. So basically, if you can cover that already with AI, people may use technology in amazing ways to basically be able to basically spread wealth faster. But technology, again, doesn't have a mind of its own. It's basically how people using it that basically decides how something is being used, right? So a lot of technology, it gets a life of its own from people basically using it, right? And AI is probably going to make all the videos, all the movies, all of that in the future. Because, yeah, you can argue that maybe a human want to do a video, but even saying that, a human can just scan their sort of their body and everything, and then they can just have a camera that goes and creates cool backgrounds for whatever background you want. You can have a whole database with 1 million backgrounds in HD, and you can have any background sort of thing you want. You can have any sort of effects you want, and then you have your whole person also scanned in, and you can create a movie. You just tap and click. So even if you want to do movies in the future, it's gonna mainly be the AI can probably do a better video than you. So that is also something that's kind of interesting to consider, that when it's just a one tap click, eventually people are just gonna see it as, well, it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. But it's gonna go, it's gonna move forward, the sort of the technology of making videos. And as more people have these high-end devices, they of course are gonna experiment with creating stuff. Because if it's one thing that we know about humans, then it is they like to be creative, they like to experiment with things, they like to try new things out. And maybe they look at it more as, one theory is, okay, they're gonna look at the smartphone more as virtual reality. Another way may be that they're looking at the whole world as a virtual simulation, that that life sort of is some kind of simulation machine that is basically creating novelty events, something that I also talked about a little bit in the past. And probably within 50, 70 years, there's not going to be a single task that the AI is not doing. So then it's really going to do everything. Yeah, and it's just going to keep on learning, keep on expanding, and it can very quickly see patterns, right? So the AI is basically going to detect when a human is doing something. It may even tell you, like, well, you did this yesterday, do you really have to do it today again? And maybe it's even gonna give you advice about what to do. But photo evidence and video evidence, it's gonna be interesting to see how that evolves, because people that are in this tech space, they sort of know that they are way ahead in many things. And when you look at these status quo sort of structures that are in place, they are kind of designed to not always like keep innovating, keep exploring, and keep trying new things. It's more about keeping order and keeping the same sort of thing that is in place right now. But technology really changes everything. It really changes everything. Because you can't really, like, all the influence basically goes back to the consumer, right? That the consumer basically decides what happens with a piece of technology, because it becomes smaller and smaller in size. It becomes more and more intelligent, and everyone's basically going to have this technology. So it's like when billions of people basically have intelligence technology, that is basically the consumer really decides where all of that goes, right? And I think we see it with stuff like Instagram. It's like, you see how it's basically the people that basically builds the experience. They create their own ecosystem. They have their own digital token systems eventually. And it's like systems that basically run themselves, right? And then you get this phase of digital jobs and stuff like that. Yeah. This of course, I mean, in many ways, the AI videos is also going to be it's going to help people that want to do extremely high quality videos, because it's going to give you the tools to create even better high quality videos. And eventually, when the blockchain token ecosystem is big enough, you'll be able to focus more on a higher quality video, and also to give out higher quality rewards to that, right? So eventually everyone can create super HD videos, and they can sort of, I mean, they can look at what other people are doing, and then they can do it themselves. For example, now a lot of people are starting to recognize, well, if you do it like, if you make it look like you're interviewing someone, wow, then it's like if you have two people and then one person is interviewing the other person, it looks super professional, right? So everyone is sort of starting to do that right now, and you see how people are learning from each other. And what I eventually think is going to happen is all video is basically just going to be virtual reality, and there's not going to be this view at, so this is a high quality video and this is a lower quality video, because everyone's basically going to have access to the same technology to do the best sort of videos. And then that concept is not even going to exist anymore. But it does exist when internet still is in this early phase, and most people do not have super advanced technology ready, like at their hands, right? But it's probably going to change quite soon. And yeah, systems and a lot of structures are basically going to change. I mean, it's not just like big systems in terms of like keeping order systems that sort of has to update, but it's more about also like the whole education process, like the whole way kind of schools work, where they are now just obsessed about memory, which is going to be like, it's not going to mean anything, because you can just have a small little device with some AI thing, and it basically makes it so all of that schooling can basically be cut down to just a few years, instead of right now how it works is like 15 years. I mean, people are staying in some kind of school facility a long time, and maybe it's not really needed that much. Maybe you just need a few years, and then humans just focus on other things that is basically needed. Yeah. That's what I wanted to say in this video. And yeah, have an awesome day. DTube and Steam blockchain. Bye bye.